Alright guys, so I'm gonna have my mic muted. I think we're good to go now. Happy Wednesday. We're good to go. I think this is my first stream back with my new light that I made. It's working pretty nicely, especially as it's gonna get darker towards evening. As you can see, we've got Cookie Monster here. Hello guys. So I'm a little bit early, and because I'm early, I realize now I only have 10 minutes till actually the normal time I would have started. But you know how last week I was talking about how I wanted to make some Cookie Monster art for my room? And so we're gonna get started on that. Just a little bit, and then we'll do our usual work and warm up and, you know, whatnot. So I grabbed some, like, pictures off the old internet that were my favorite Cookie Monster pictures. And I'm just gonna use one of those as a reference. I don't want to spend too much time, like, agonizing making my own poses or whatnot. Like, I just want to try painting Cookie Monster and then putting this quote in with it that I really like. So, really like this one that I pulled out first. So that's definitely probably gonna be the one I go with. But I also liked... I thought this one was kind of funny. I like how confused he looks. But I think I want it to be a little bit happier, so maybe not that one. And then I like this one because, like, the cookie's really big and I like how he's looking at it. Okay, so the quote is in German because I'm learning German. And it's Ohne Kekse bin ich nur ein Monster. And it means without cookies, I'm just a monster. If you guys don't know, I love sweets and cake and cookies above all. And I feel like Cookie Monster I relate to a lot, where there's just times I could just eat cookies upon cookies and really have no end to them and I would be happy. And sometimes I feel like when I feel stressed or whatever, like, I'm the kind of person that reaches out for food to feel better. And if I don't get the sweets or the chocolates or the cookies I need, sometimes I can be a monster. So this kind of quote and Cookie Monster have come together into one painting that I'm gonna make. Originally I saw it as like a meme, but I was like, I mean, it's kind of base. So we're gonna make some art out of it. So it'll be like a meme I can have on my wall. Alrighty. Hold up, we got one more. This one was cute, but it's not funny. So I'm gonna delete that one. Alright, but which one? I think I want the text to stay on the left. So both of these I would have to... This one isn't bad. He looks really happy here. And he's got a cookie. But I think I think I'm gonna go with the one that has Elmo in it. I'm not gonna paint Elmo, but I just kind of like that he just looks like he's about to just take a giant bite out of the cookie. Alright, Elmo, nothing against you, but we're gonna cut you out of this. My little sister, Rose, she absolutely loved Elmo. When she was little, she had like all the toys, and she had one that someone had given us that was like, it had like a rock guitar. It's like Elmo played the guitar. She had some other talking ones. She just had like Elmo everything. Alright, what if... Hear me out. What if we flip it? Because I think something more like this direction. Compositionally. Alright, I'm gonna remove the text for now. I'm gonna work on doing like a loose sketch. I kind of want to do it in like oil style paintings. Like, no, oh my gosh, I can't English. Like an oil style paint. I was going to do this like with real oils, but I'm like, Emma, if you decide to do that, you're never gonna get it done. I'm never even gonna... I have a hard time like committing to big projects. And I don't like using oils too much in my room just because I have to sleep in here and the fumes can be a bit of a problem. And I don't have anywhere else where I could put the painting. So I'm like, just do it digitally, and someday when I have a little bit of better studio space, I can do it in oils. All right, so he's got his little hand here. Not a whole lot of anatomy going on. He's a very simple puppet. I just like all the fur. I figured we could kind of go a little crazy with some colors. Maybe make it a little more dynamic. We'll see how it goes. This is a really like forgiving character, I think, because it's like the fur is very organic, and so is the shape of Cookie Monster. What if we should put his other hand into it? Like he could be holding, you know, it'd be kind of like cute if he's holding it with like both hands. Or is it more iconic when Cookie Monster just like one-handedly devours cookies? We'll play around with it. We'll play around with it. All right, now the eyes are very important. It's like the most iconic part of Cookie Monster. I like how it just looks like he's looking up here. That's so cute. I think I may have made the mouth a little too big. And it kind of comes in a little like this. Would have been like that. And also, so the cookie, it's like we're seeing the back side of the cookie here in the picture, but I want like my cookie to have chocolate chips. So we're gonna do that instead. Alright, so the hand, I mean, it looks like he kind of has fingers. I don't know if he has thumbs. It's just kind of like loose. Oh, I kind of like that. We go with something like that. And we're gonna have to use, so I want to use a lot of like my brush strokes are gonna be doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to showing the texture of the fur. Let's flip this around. Alright, I feel like I want the head tilted back a little bit more. We can exaggerate this a little bit. Let's fix these eyes. But they need to be more round. I wasn't really, when I was little, I wasn't into like Sesame Street. But because like my younger sister, she watched all the time. Like, of course I know all the characters. I feel like we watched, like our mom put it on more around the time like she was still little. But I don't know why we never really watched it. Like Sesame, well, I guess we probably did, but there was a lot of other kid shows that we watched. I feel like Rose was the one though that got like addicted to it, so she loved all the characters like Ernie and Bert and Oscar the Grouch. She had like little plushies for them all. You know how it is with the youngest, they seem to get everything. I'm definitely not bitter about that. We like the spoiled Rose though. I feel like every family does that when they have a youngest. It's just how it is. Okay. Maybe a little bit of hair sticking out here. It's something about the eyes. It's just not. Maybe they're not perfectly round. Like, look, this almost looks like a little more oblong, you know? Let me pull up some Cookie Monster pictures so we can look at some more. No, they look pretty round. Maybe the image is just warped a little. I don't know, guys. Let me find. Yeah, they're pretty round. All right, well, you know what? We gotta make some creative decisions. We don't always have to do exactly what we see or what we think we see. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. Some reason chat wasn't like live updating until I clicked on it. Hello, the gecko. Welcome back. Let's see. Much appreciate the German. Oh yeah. Good evening. Oh, I'm sorry your messages weren't being sent. I don't know why it's being weird like that. Also, hello user. We are now on digital. Yes, we are. Messages from the chat are not being sent, it seems. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that, guys. I think I had to like click on the window and then it updated it in OBS, which is like my streaming program. Yeah, I think it's working now. Sorry about that, guys. Technical issues. It's the worst. Sorry I sent hello 1,000 times because nothing came through. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I was like, I need to make sure, because I've had this happen before, but I forgot that I needed to make sure I like click on the window. Yeah. I'll have to remember that in the future. Yeah, I think there's a tiny space actually in between the eyes here. Here we go. Put this eye in, and then this one here. All right, let's flip it again. We're only a little past 2. I think I can... We're gonna work on this just a little bit longer, just because I'm not ready to give up on it. All right, we can get... I'm not gonna work on the line work that much. Let's see how much we can bring it to life once we pull out our brushes. Let's figure out what brush we want to use. I had some oil brushes that we were doing the paint studies with, and I think those might be nice. Let's see if I can find it here. I'm gonna paint under the sketch. Well, let's just... Oh, I think I like this brush, guys. That's kind of nice. This might be a good, like, base layer starter. I think we need to go... Ooh, that shade looks right. Bum, 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 bum. Anyway, sorry guys again about chat not updating. How have you all been doing? We've made it halfway through the week, which is amazing. I had to double check this morning. I was like, is it Wednesday? Like, I have such trouble keeping track of time. I was like, yes, yes it is. We've made it halfway. All right, put your little hand in here. Yeah, I think I like the second hand that I added. Just color fill this whole thing. I want the cookie to look really delicious. Because they just have like a fake cookie prop, so we're not going to really reference that one. I might Google some... cookie references. Oh, I did that again. Guys, if you wiggle one of the windows that you have open, it will close all the other ones. Oh, I hate it when I do that. Now I gotta reopen them all. Bear with me. Put OBS on top. All right, we're back. We are big. All right, we need a better texture here. I think that's a good base color. Oh, guys, let me set. There we go. All right, now I think for like the fur, we should probably work in like darker tones now. But we don't want to get too... I don't want to be too... What's the word I'm looking for? I think I have a tendency to be a little bit timid. So let's try to not be timid and get in there with some really heavy texture brushes. Let's just block in the shaded areas. Hold on, let me fix this brush. I don't want the diameter to change. I just want... There we go. Let me change the transfer. Should be pen pressure. I should be careful how much I mess around with the brush settings. I have a tendency to go a little crazy, and before I know it, I've ruined the brush, and then I don't even keep what I've changed. And perhaps we'll darken in this part. Do, 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 do. Let's set a background color too, actually, guys. What should the background color be? Let's pull up, you know, guys, if you ever feel bad, just know that I still have to pull up the color wheel to find complementary colors. So we could use like a yellow or like an orangey. Okay, I'm not opposed to that. I actually have a growing love for the shade of orange and yellow. I just think it's so... They're such happy colors. Ooh, that's kind of fun. We may not keep this. Let's add some texture to it and then maybe lighten it up a little bit. Just a wee bit of texture. Because I don't like to use just straight plain color fills. I like that. Let's turn it down. Yep. This is cute. Alright, let's add our text back in. Hold on, let me save this file. Let's save fast. Alright, where's our text file? Here we go. I actually like this font, which is pretty crazy because it usually takes me eons to decide on a font. And I actually like this one. Make it a little bit bigger. I feel like it fits here well. Boom. Although, I think we need to shrink this distance a little bit. Let's see how that looks on the other monitor. That seems good. And we're gonna color pick this boo. That'd be good for now. Alright, we're gonna work with that. We might change it later. Alright, cookie fill. C is for cookie. It's good enough for me. Let's see, just kind of like what we're doing with the food art. I'm just gonna use really red colors to make the food look a little more appetizing. It should probably go under here. We can honestly make the cookie as big as we want. We can make it bigger than what the reference had. I like that. This is gonna be really cute. Okay, I'm genuinely excited for this. Alright, but I'm not in love with the brushes just yet. So that's interesting. Pen pressure changes the brightness. Don't love that for this, but it is interesting. Oh, hold up. That's a bit much, but I don't dislike what's happening. Brush paint. I want a brush that I can like... I should look for one of those like blendy brushes. Let's check out... I think I have a Just Oils brushes. Because that was part of the winter brushes that Adobe gave out. 2024. Wet media brushes. Well, we had this blender tool here. These aren't that many. Okay, hold up. Let's look at this one. Oh, I think I used to use this one. Yeah, these ones blend. But it's too much. It's too smeary, you know? Not into that. Alright, we're going back to what we were using before. Although, what about these brushes? This is like a... It's a nice chalk smudge. Maybe we're just gonna keep layering these, I think, until we get the effect that we want. Not opposed to adding some color splatter too. We'll probably do that at the end. Sometimes I do that as a little finishing touch. Oh, I kind of like the halftone. All right, we got plenty of ideas for what we're gonna do to finish it off, but I still don't have a brush that I like. Not that, maybe like, I have some gouache brushes. Perhaps these? No. All right, we're just gonna go back to the ones we had before. None of these are really speaking to me. Those ones are kind of fun, but not for this project. I do like the texture they have on them, though. It's all right. All right, we probably shouldn't go too much longer because I do need to get started on our warm-up sketches like we normally do. Oh, maybe the fall. Hold up, guys. Hold the phone. Concept pencil. No. Wonky variant. This pack has some really unique. Oh, wait a minute. This is nice. Maybe let's do some shading with this, and then we'll do some strokes over top to make it look a little more natural. But I like the color variation that's happening here. It kind of looks like fur, and that's what I'm looking for. I think when we go towards highlights, we'll go more towards like the warm blues, and then we'll use the cool blues for the shadows. And I also like how we're getting a little textured edge there. Yeah, this isn't bad. Hold up, let me put this layer above this. Oh, that was a bad idea. There we go. There we go. All right, now we need to darken it. Let's go towards our cool blues. I just have to make sure I don't accidentally draw on the wrong layer. Hoping everything's still running smoothly on stream side, I think. Maybe we need to go a little like, we can go a little purple probably. I don't have a giant plan for this. This is a little bit like last minute. I wanted to make this. I was like, when I mean last minute, I mean like 30 minutes before I started stream. Granted, I was talking about this last week, but I didn't expect myself to actually do it. But here I am. Alright, so it's the side of the arm here, top of the hand, the fingers in there. And we'll get some highlights in here on the mouth. And a little bit there. Let's blend that in. Shade it here a little darker. Alright, I think we got a good little base going here. Let's check out... What's this brush? No. We're gonna have to go back to... Oh, that one's fun. Let's go back to those oil brushes I had before. This one is fun, but it's not gonna... Mystic. You know, you'll notice, guys, whenever I don't like exactly how something's turning out, I'll often break out my line art brushes and I'll line art things. But I really would like to attempt to make this look good without doing that. But if it doesn't, I'm just gonna fall back on putting a little line art around it and it'll be fine. Worst case scenario, that's what I have to do. That's also a nice texture. I think we need to darken up the mouth because it's actually really dark. And we can do a little bit darker than the a little bit lighter than the reference. But I still think it needs to be darker. And then slowly I'll shade it so it gets brighter as I reach towards the outward part. Here we go. It was funny, I was looking before I started stream for the meme that I found this from, and I could not find it. And I could have swore I saved it on Pinterest, but maybe the pin got deleted or something. So I was like, I'm hoping that I had the grammar correct. So I'm like, this is how I remember it being. So I was just like, please let this be right. It doesn't help that I'm dyslexic too. So we combine it with like a language I'm not good at, along with, you know, being dyslexic. It's a great one to come up. That looks great, really good. Thank you, Gecko. But Gecko, you're from Germany, right? So I have a German here to make sure I have it spelled right. So we're all good. There we go. I love this song. This one is called... Oh, it's the welcome track, #1. I think I need to darken up under here a little bit. Oh, man, it's really hard to shade in blues, actually. I've never really done something with this much blue before. Maybe just shade in the fingers a little bit. Oops. That's way too bright. Alright, I did say I wanted to be a little bit fun with the colors. So I think I need to bust out some various blues. Like, let's get these turquoise a little bit of a shot as I like mid-tone transition. Oh, we can get really vibrant, actually. I'll line the fingers a little. Okay, maybe... I know I shouldn't do this yet, but I'm low-key feeling tempted to pull out some line work. Like, what if? My messages don't come through. Oh, that's kind of weird. I wonder if I need to change... I think there's some like chat settings that I can change, but I don't know if I can change them right now while I'm live streaming. I think it's like something I have to set when I first start streaming. Or maybe it's my internet. Is that a thing? Because I've been having internet trouble these last couple days. Let's see if I can adjust some stream settings. What have we got? Can I edit it live? It almost looks like I can. Give me a second, guys. I'll try again. Yes, I'm from Germany. I do speak. Do you speak a little German? A little. So, it's a little embarrassing. Hopefully this doesn't cut out. I do speak some German, but my German is really bad in the sense that I've never had the opportunity to speak to anybody. So my like reading proficiency is pretty darn good. But my speaking ability is really bad. So I like listen to podcasts, and I'll read some stuff in German like very frequently. So that kind of keeps my level up in those terms, but my speaking is terrible. It's a little unfortunate. But I'm trying to do like shadowing, where you like watch videos and then you speak while they're speaking exactly what they're saying, and I found that that's kind of like helping build my confidence a little. But we're getting there. I've been learning it for a while, but I haven't had the money to like get a teacher that I could speak with, so I'm just kind of doing whatever I can to keep my level like relatively like up there, so that someday when I can get a teacher, I can, you know, I'm not going to be starting at 0 again. Actually, guys, I don't hate this with a little line art. I changed the chat moderation, and I'm hoping that it's gonna let you. Du kannst sehr gut malen. Oh, danke. Yeah, feel free to send your chat messages auf Deutsch because I can understand them. I just can't speak it very well. And my pronunciation is sehr schlecht. But I'm working on it slowly. Da, 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 da. I like it with a little line art, guys. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of cute. Alles klar, gerne. Deine Aussprache ist ziemlich gut. Oh, danke. Thank you. I'm always I'm afraid to like make mistakes, you know? And I know every beginner feels that way, but I'm like a chronic perfectionist, so I have a lot of fear of making mistakes. Because I struggle so much with the endings and getting the genders correct. So that's why I don't have any issues with like reading, because I'm not responsible for making that right when I'm reading. But when you're trying to speak, I get the endings wrong and I get the genders for the words and like the declination. I'm really bad at it. I need to practice some more, but it's like one of the very not fun things to study. So I keep putting it off. Alright guys, we need to stop working on this, and we need to work on our warm-up drawings, because we got a full day of work ahead of us, and I'm getting a little distracted by Cookie Monster. I think German is very hard to learn in general. Yeah, I think you're right. Das stimmt. It's funny because I'm also learning Japanese, and although like learning to read in Japanese is like really hard, I find that the grammar is so much easier than German that like I feel like it feels more natural to speak in like the Japanese than it does when I was first learning German. So like there's the barrier with like having to read the kanji and the hiragana and all that. But once you like have a good enough like foot in the door with that, the grammar of Japanese isn't too terrible. But like with German, like it's amazing. I didn't need to learn a new alphabet. Like there's only a couple new letters, right? But then you hit the grammar and it's just like, oh my gosh. Can I do this? I don't know. I'll always, there's like a meme where it's like life is too short to learn German or something like that. Because it's like no matter how long you live, you'll still be learning. Okay, guys, let me find this. We will come back to Cookie Monster tomorrow. I think we got a good base going. Alright, we're not working on this right now, but I still had it pulled up. Alright, let's do just some quick, like, rapid fire sketches of some poses. Let me grab this brush. All right, let's go. Gecko, did you have to learn like English in school, or it was just kind of like enough people were speaking it around you that you were able to just pick it up as a kid? Because from what I can tell in your like written English, you're really proficient. So I was wondering if you were just kind of like grew up bilingual. I think that's more common like in European countries than here in the US. Not many people speak more than one language. Okay, this arm. I know we drew this pose before, guys, but I wanna just one more time. Sometimes I'm not satisfied with how they turned out, so. Okay, here we go. This time I want to draw in, I don't know if I was doing this last week, but I want to draw in like separate boxes for the neck and then the face. We see it a little bit. Actually, our head's kind of tilted down, so we don't see any of under the chin. Should probably make the head a little bit wider, actually. Can't really actually see this arm, but we're gonna pretend it's there because I'm not drawing in like the middle part of the torso. And this leg. Okay, I think I should have put the hip joint lower. We're gonna roll with it though, because I'm not supposed to get too caught up in the details. It's about quickly capturing the pose. I think last week I was adding little joint segments, wasn't I? I think I was. Ooh. Hold up. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's do this. Now we're gonna do a foot. I kind of like that pose. Okay, let's do another one quick. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. But what I'm gonna do is draw like very This is gonna be a little bit different. I want to kind of draw her clothing. Because she has like these really billowy sleeves that are really cool. And just kind of like capture that shape. Rather than thinking in boxes, I just want to switch it up. Just kind of what we were doing last month. Like, how can we simplify these shapes together, you know? Bum, 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 bum. Their foot turned. A little bit like this. And then this foot's like this. And then this hand's way back here. I think I made her head too small. Let's add her hair. That'll make it look bigger. Now the neck is too thick. There we go. Well, those fashion poses, like the art from them, usually they make the head small too. Let's see here. Which pose? I'm gonna draw one more and then I'll be right back. Let's do this one. Soccer. We gotta start thinking about, we're almost to a new month, which is insane. Nothing comes through again. YouTube seems to have a problem. I don't know what, cause yeah, I'm thinking it's on YouTube's end. I'm hoping it's not mine. I went to the settings and I was thinking that maybe it was like, you know how that has like the built-in like moderation. So I just changed it so it wasn't as like moderating chat as much. So hopefully that helped. I wrote, I'd love to learn Japanese. I love Japan. I've written my bachelor's and master's thesis about Japanese culture and history. Oh, that's crazy. I'll travel there first time in my life in September. Oh, you're going to Japan? Yo, that's awesome. And thank you. For some reason, English has always been interesting and easy for me. I learned it mostly through music, TV shows, movies, and entertainment in general. Ah, okay. I have to say, I'm always jealous of people who are like bilingual. I'm like, man, I wish I could have grown up speaking like another language. But there is, you know, like an upside where when you learn it later, like as an adult too, you know, I guess you appreciate, I guess, the time that it takes to learn. But yeah. You'll probably learn, I mean, you probably already know this, but like Japanese, like German kind of prepared me for Japanese in the sense that like the verb comes on the end. So a lot of the word order in Japanese to me feels similar to German. So I'm like, that's kind of nice. Like I'm slightly prepared for it. Alright, which pose was I drawing? Sorry guys, I got distracted. I might have to... I don't know what else I can do in my settings. 私は月光です。That's great. Look, you already got a good start. You gotta start somewhere. I would love to, at some point, have a teacher for learning Japanese. I did, there's like an app called Tandem for language learners. And I did like, probably going on 2 years ago, I had like someone I was talking to on there, but my Japanese was so terrible then. Like he was way more advanced in English, so I think he got more out of the lessons together than I did. I mean, he was really patient, which was amazing. But I feel like now I would probably have done better. But there's still something about you, like when you have an actual teacher who understands not only like the how to teach it to someone, but like the grammar aspects of their own language itself. I think it's a little bit more helpful. You seem to be very good at learning new languages. I would say I'm good at it. It's like I put I'm a very slow learner actually, but the one thing I'm good at is like consistency. So I don't have a lot of time every day that I dedicate to learning, because like I've been actually learning German for 7 years, and Japanese probably I've been doing it seriously for I guess 2 years, 2 or 3 years. So I'm not a fast learner, and nothing really comes easy to me. But I find out that if I just put in at least 30 minutes a day, you know, like do my flashcards and watch some video lessons, that slowly over time I can get it to stick in my brain. So yeah, I mean, I guess I have a hard time accepting compliments, but thank you. That's what I probably should be saying. I really enjoy learning new languages. I also aspire to learn Spanish, but I'm learning very slowly because I'm just using Duolingo. I really admire your consistency. Thank you. I figure that's like the one thing that you know, like I can have control over, because, you know, I'm not a fast learner, but as long as I'm consistent, I think I'm gonna make it. How much time do you think it takes to become fluent in Japanese? You know, I think that's one of those questions where people have a lot of YouTube videos on that. And I think it really comes down to like, what is your native language, of course, because if your native language is closer to the language you want to learn, like grammar is going to be a lot easier for you. And then, I mean, the alphabet's really hard just because you have to learn all the kanji. But if you're like the kind of person that is really good at just memorizing things, then I think you're not going to have any trouble. But if you're like me, so I have a hard time memorizing stuff. So when I learn each kanji, I have to create like a little story with it so that I can remember it. And I think that takes a little bit more time. It's definitely doable. And then it also comes down to like how much time a day do you put into it? And then like, of course, like people who actually get to live in a place where the language they're trying to learn is actually spoken is going to be a huge leg up, just because your immersion is so much higher. So I really can't 100% tell you how long it would take to be fluent. I imagine at the rate I'm going, studying about like 30 to 40 minutes every day, I think I'll probably be like intermediate level by next year. And so that would be like 3 years of seriously studying, which is really slow. If you think about some other people who can like, I know there's people who will learn like, oh my gosh, they can learn a language in 1 year. It's insane. But I'm not one of those people. I don't have a teacher. I'm just doing it on my own. So everybody's pacing is a little different. But the way I look at it is like, if I invest a couple minutes every day, even in like, if it takes me 10 years to be fluent, right? Isn't that better than having not tried at all? So I don't know. That's just kind of the way I look at it. But if you have to like, so if like I needed to speak the language for work, I would learn it a lot faster. I would be dedicating at least 2 hours a day to studying. But I'm only learning for fun, so there's no pressure. So it really just depends on like why you want to learn. If there's a time frame you have to have a proficiency like reached. I don't know if that makes sense. And then I don't know, just like your personal you're, I don't know if you're like a fast learner, you pick things up fast, that can be a benefit. Let's head in here. I don't think it matters if a person learns fast or slow. Giving it your best and following through is important. Everyone has their own path. That's very true. That's a nice way to put it. It's very encouraging. Let me put this arm in here. The arm kind of comes down. And then... Okay, so I drew the foot up too high, but you know what? We're supposed to be learning how to exaggerate poses. So I'm just gonna say that's what I did. And we'll call it good. This hand here. Alright, what's the other hand doing? It's like kind of coming down like this. We're seeing the underside here a little bit. Oh, actually, hold up. We need to tilt this arm up more. Do 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 do. I'll have to show you guys later. I did a watercolor dog portrait Monday, and I did one yesterday as well, but it's not finished yet, but the one of them's finished, and it might be interesting to show you guys kind of my watercolors and a little bit of my process, because I haven't done a dog portrait in probably 5 years. Do you like anime? I'm a big fan of Hayao Miyazaki. I do like anime, but I have to confess I don't watch that much actually anymore. It's a little bit of a crime. I don't have I mean, there's some anime on Netflix, so there's definitely some ones I could be watching, but I used to have like Crunchyroll, and so I'd watch a lot through there. So I don't watch as much as I used to. I try to watch a lot of the live action, like films that come out of Japan, so like TV series or movies, like Japanese ones, just because I figure like it's good for me to be hearing the Japanese. But yeah, if you have any like anime recommendations that are either on Amazon Prime or Netflix, let me know. I like creating lists and watching stuff that people recommend, so put them in chat and I shall write them down. Okay guys, I'm going to be right back, and then we're gonna get started on... What are we doing? I got a to-do list here. We are going to work on... Ooh, I have some... So I had my mom look over the children's book, and she had some like ideas to change just kind of like text placement and the illustrations a little bit. So we're gonna go through and make those changes. But I'm gonna make tea, and then I'm gonna be right back. And then we're gonna dive into doing that. I'm back. Gecko, I want to show you something. I just thought of it while I was making my tea. I actually have, my brother got me these for my birthday. They're like the art books slash like storyboards from, this is Howl's Moving Castle. Let me see if I can show you guys on the screen. But they're like so, like you can see it has his notes and like the original sketches. Let me flip some pages here. They're absolutely amazing. And I have, like, I've been wanting to do, I just haven't done it yet. But I would love to do some studies of these on stream. So he got me, like, my two favorites. So we got Howl's Moving Castle. And then we have Princess Mononoke, which is really beautiful. Hold up, let me get the... And it's really fun, too, because like, the cover is all, like, written in Japanese. And then on the spine of the book, too. So it's really cool. I'm like so grateful. Like it's the best gift. Let me put these back in here. But yeah, they... Sure, that's pulled up there. All the drawings are so good. I love his like... He's like so intentional with his... like his pencil and everything. But he keeps it so loose. Like it all has so much like lovely movement to it. I just aspire to be able to draw. Yeah, there's like a lot of good action sequences too. Let me see if I can find one that'll show up. And like of course like his like the cursed pigs or whatever you want to call them. Like these are amazing. It's so cool. I love Princess Mononoke. Yeah, honestly. Love, like, I mean, I love all his works. But yeah, these two are like my favorites, so. Also love Kiki's Delivery Service. That one was really cute. But I think Howl's Moving Castle is probably my favorite of all of them. But it's like, how do you really pick a favorite? They're all really good. Okay. Let me open those storyboard files. Are the live action shows from Japan any good? They are very different from Western style. Never seen one. Okay. I have a bias towards like Korean TV series. Like I watch K-dramas a lot and like Korean movies and like their cinematography, their storytelling, everything is just like peak, right? And so some of the Japanese films are like up there, right, with that level. But I feel like my standard got really high because of Korea. But there are a lot of really not great ones. And I think the problem is that like I only have like Netflix and Amazon Prime, and it's gotten better, but there aren't a lot of Japanese movies and TV series on Netflix as much as there is like Korean movies and TV shows. So there's just like so much larger of a selection, and I think there probably are a lot of terrible Korean shows. I just haven't watched them. But I've gotten really desperate with trying to like get like my immersion higher with Japanese. So like I've settled for some really cringy and terrible Japanese shows just for the sake of watching it, because I need to improve my listening comprehension of like natural speaking. And so there's a large part of me wants to say they're not that good, but it's wrong, because there are a lot of ones that I've watched that were actually really good. So it's hit or miss, and it really just depends on like the genre. But yeah, some of them are good, some of them not so good. But it really just depends. I do know though, like Japanese like game shows, apparently those are really good and funny. I haven't watched any. I don't know if you have, but I've heard that like the Japanese game shows are fun to watch. So I'm like, I think they might have the edge on that one. So I don't know. But I prefer Korean movies and TV shows over like Western like shows out of America. Like I can't really watch anything out of the US anymore. It's usually disappointing. Unless, okay, like Star Wars, any of the Star Wars series, I'll watch those. Or like some of the Marvel TV series I'll watch too, and those are really good. Or the Lord of the Rings series. Like those I'll watch, but as far as what's like airing right now on like television, I have absolutely no clue here in like the US. Like I just don't like. The last thing I think I watched was what was that show with the airplane that like disappeared? It was like a little bit weird at the end. I can't remember what it was called. That was the probably last American TV show I've watched. Oh, Manifest. It was called Manifest. I didn't even watch the whole thing. I think I watched like I watched the very last episodes with my family, and then like the first and second season, I think. Forgot how many seasons there were. But yeah. That was a really long answer to your question. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can get this. Let's get this file pulled up. I don't want to oversteep my tea. Alright, let's see if I gotta find the Pura file for the book. 1 second, guys. Oops, that's the wrong file. This time for sure. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Alright, that probably steeped long enough. I think you're only supposed to steep your tea like... Some of them are only like 3 minutes. I always do at least 5. Alright, let's see. Yes, I find most today's shows a bit dull too, but I'd really like to get into Korean or Japanese shows now that you recommended them. Yeah, Netflix has so many K-dramas. Lots of good ones. Lots and lots of good ones. Lots of different genres too. I really like any of the crime ones. Pretty much all of them. But I don't do like when they do crime / like horror. I can't watch anything horror. But yeah. They got some good stuff. Alright. We gotta lock it in, guys. Let me find... I took a picture of my notes of what I'm supposed to change. Let me pull it out. Where did it go? I thought I took a picture of it. Here it is. Alright, so I labeled it with each page number. We need to make the first edit we need to make is on page 5. Which one of the pages, Mom had the idea. She's like, why don't you make it into 2? Okay, so my note is make 5 into a page of just the pillow fight and then the card games. Okay, now I have to try and decipher my notes and exactly what I meant. Page 15, get rid of headless Figgy. So I had this idea because I have a tendency to think like a comic artist, and I wanted just like showing the feet of Figgy as he's walking, and then it kind of looked like he was headless. So she's like, maybe cut that out. Hello, Scott. Cookie Monster. Yeah, we were working on doing a little Cookie Monster fan art earlier, and I just kind of left it up while I was working on opening some files for the next project. But Tomorrow I'm hoping to work some more on Cookie Monster. Alright, so I need to make these changes. Do you guys all have like a favorite Sesame Street character? Because you know what? We're never too old to like Sesame Street. It's so wholesome. Alright, let's see. We're gonna do page 5. That'll be this one. Da, 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 da. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, so this is why we need to fix this. There is a lot of text on this page. Like a lot. Alright, so my note said make it the pillow fight and the card game on 2 different... Okay, I think I see what I meant. Alright, so this would be 5 and 6, and then we're gonna have extra pages actually. That would be technically now page 7 and 8. This is gonna get complicated. Okay, so I think what we were thinking is that we're gonna get rid of all the ones with Sammy over here. So we don't need this, this. Keep the furniture. And then we're gonna keep... Man, we got a lot of layers in here. We're gonna take them playing card games down here. We're gonna move it to this side of the page. I could make it bigger. I don't want to stretch the drawings too much though. Because sometimes you can... Because like, it'll start to pixelate them a little. Let's take a look. No, I think it's alright. We're good. Also, I need to put the cards on the ground. Looks like they're just... Looks like they're looking at absolutely nothing at the moment, but that's okay. Okay. So... Then we're gonna move this image down. The pillow fight scene. Ba-da-ba, ba-ba-da-ba. And we also need to move the furniture with it. I had to laugh when I was having her go over it though. It felt like you know, when you have your teacher go over your work and they're like, why did you do this? Or they'll point out something that like you didn't see because you had a different idea in your mind, and then suddenly you're like, I can see how it looks that way now. It's very humbling. It's a humbling process. Let's just say that. I'll move this illustration here a little bit more. Okay, now, so the text from this page and this page, this will be 7, 8, and then this is now 9 and 10. Okay. Trying to keep this all organized. Alright, so we need to get rid of the text from this page, this one. And I'm gonna move this over. Oh, I got an idea. Hold up. What if we did... Let's realign this. Yeah, text placement is definitely not finalized on these. See, he wants to color and read, and I get bored doing that all day. Let's put a space in here. Sleepy. Just remembering all those boring books. I'm gonna put the text on this page down here and the illustrations at the top. And then Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. This one can stay here for now. This is still a rough layout, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I do want to move them playing games just up a little bit more, because we're gonna have some stuff in the foreground a little bit more here, like them. We'll put some cards or whatnot, maybe like a board game. Well, board game would be good actually. I'd put a layer for that, because there are board games with cards. I forget which ones. We used to play a lot of board games when we were kids, and can't say that I loved doing it. I always got really bored. That's why I think they're called board games, because you get bored when you're playing them. Granted, some people play them when they are bored, but for me, I just couldn't get into it. We used to play like Monopoly too, and you know how Monopoly can get. It's not always good times. Okay. So let me reorder these now on my PureRev file. So this page, this one is now cut into, this is now 2 images. One anime movie I really love is Akira, a 1980s masterpiece. But very twisted and a bit brutal. It's not everybody's taste. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I heard like the 80s anime and like 90s anime though was like peak, like really good. I might have to, where's my pencil? Let me write that down. I'll look it up. If it looks too violent, I might not watch it, but Akira. Anime. Okay. Got my note taken. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum, ba-da, ba-da, bum, bum. All right. Screenshot this. All right, so this one now goes in place of here. And then we get the next page. Wait, what's my note say? This page would still go here. All right, bear with me, guys, as I do this. Then we would get rid of this. And we only have Sammy. And we don't need the text from the text to this page here. And then these would be illustration 9 and 10. Okay, and then we get rid of all this text. Do I make this into 2 illustrations then? Or I could put all the text on just one side. Because my mom was saying it just looks too busy. And I have to agree with her, it was a bit busy. So maybe if we... What if we just condensed all this into one page? Okay, here's what I actually should be doing. Let me just copy this into a new text. Okay. One of the best things I ever did is I made, my mouse has like buttons on its side, and I made a copy and paste hotkey. Game changer. Okay, that one. Because I am copying and pasting stuff like all the time. Alright, we have to up the spacing. Also, I think I'm just gonna... Now I feel like we might have to put in an illustration, a new one in here. Because I do feel like something needs to go at the bottom. Well, we're not going to worry about that today, but I do want to keep that in the back of my mind. Okay, then we get rid of this. We could add in, maybe like some piles of books. The one where he's reading. And then maybe... Let me add in a layer. Background. Elements. I could add. Let's be like a pile of books here. And what else? We can add more toys here. Maybe another toy car. That's always an option. I think also maybe like a couple toy cars. Maybe like a truck. I don't know. Just to kind of like liven it up a little, you know what I mean? It's not that exciting right now. So I got this perspective wrong. You know, this looks like, actually it looks like a computer, like a PC tower. That's the power button. It shouldn't be that, but I wouldn't draw it like that. Maybe we could add something here. Or we just center the text and I get... Let's make this sound a little... We could center the text. And I'll just get a little decorative on the top and bottom. Where's that layer? Here we go. Or we can make it more fun. We could add like elements. You know what? We're gonna leave it up to later. Alright, so this is now page... Kind of like the simplicity of this. This is now page 8 and... No, 7 and 8. Yeah. And then we cut to this page. Okay, that feels better. That only that adds 2 more pages to the book, but that's fine. There's not really a limit. Alright, let's see what our next note was. Page 15. Get rid of headless Figgy. Okay, let me show you guys what we're talking about here. Let me show you headless Figgy. That was page 15. There we go. It should be in this file. Okay. I think you guys can probably already see. So I was... Oh, it's bugging out. I was thinking a little bit more like a comic artist. You know where you like... I don't know if you all have read comics before. Or like manga. But there's... Like, there's often shots, right? Where all you see is, like, their feet walking or something. So I was thinking, like, a comic artist. And I was just gonna have, like, Figgy's feet walking in. But my mom was like, why is he headless? And I was like, that's actually a very valid point. Like, if you're not thinking like a comic artist while you're reading it, and you're actually thinking like a children's book reader, which my mom has read many in her day, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take your advice and we're gonna cut that illustration out. And I think we decided it wasn't 100% necessary. So this one, oh, we still have the original sketch under there. Figgy walking, there we go. And then we were gonna combine the text. Where's the other? Okay, it's in this file. All right, cool. Now we're gonna take a new text layer and we're gonna fit all of that up here. Come on, Photoshop, be good to me. Do 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 do. All right, this layer. I guess I probably shouldn't have it bold anymore. Actually, we can keep that space in there. Let me make this not bold. There we go. Maybe something like that. And then, I wonder if it looks stupid if I space it here. I kind of want it to fit around the design. Let's see if we can fit all the way across the top here. Then we can fit this in. I just like to nestle the text in. All right, we're gonna go with that for now. I think we can probably bring it up a little bit. All right, there we go. Let me save this file. All right, my next note is page 6. Make Sammy look worried. Okay. I did not make Sammy look worried enough in that one. And I was thinking that too when we went through it. I was like, I think I could up the drama in this one. Oh, that's back to this page. Cool. So I think... Hold up. Is this the correct page? That's what the note says. Page 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should have been this one. Because here, okay, this is why. Because the text says, thinking about it made Sammy's tummy feel funny. So I want Sammy to look worried to fit along with the text. Originally, the text was more, it was changed and it was more like Figgy. Sammy was thinking about like, why doesn't Figgy want to do these type of things with me? And it was more like about thinking. And so that's why I had like a thinking pose. But we've kind of changed up the context a little bit. And so now we need to have Sammy being worried. Which I think we can get away with doing without redrawing too much. I'm hoping and praying because I don't want to have to do a bunch of redrawing. Did I say I was writing what brush size? I think this is probably correct. It's 25. Okay. How can we... Let me think for a moment, guys. I kind of like the idea of, maybe we get rid of this hand that's here. And we do like one hand on the stomach. A bit more like that. And then maybe the other like a bit like this. And then maybe Sammy's looking down. Actually, alright, we might have to redraw this whole sketch. Let me leave this one on so we get the size correct. Be like nose. Maybe something like that. Kind of like that. I don't want to go crazy. I'm making Sammy look too worried. Like I want concern, but not absolutely. Like I don't want Sammy to look totally sick. I'm like trying to balance it. Would you like to visit Japan one day, or have you been there already? I would love to visit. I have never been there. I really want to. I don't have the money for it at the moment. But, you know, one of these days, I'm really hoping to visit. I'm hoping when I get to visit, I can stay for like more than a week. I don't know how I'd make that work. I know there's like, what is that website? It's, I think it's intended for like language learners, but people who want to try visiting different countries, but don't have like money to, you know, have a hotel for a whole month or whatever, where you like, you'll work for people, whether it's like at a hotel or restaurant, and then they'll give you a room to stay in. There's like a name for the website. It's like world something. But yeah, I thought about doing that. So like I could work part-time to pay for my room, and then the upside would be like I could stay for longer than a week, and it would give me an opportunity to be able to like learn the language better, as well as like get a better idea of what it's like actually living in Japan. Because if I really love it, I would like love to try living there for a time period, but ideally I would try living like for a month there and just get like a better feel for it. But yeah, that's kind of just like a dream at this point. I don't have any set date when I would actually do it. Alright, we need to pull out our character sheet. It's been a really long time since I drew Sammy. Okay. I think this is what I'm thinking. Probably pose-wise. Let's do a proper version of it. Sammy's head's tilted down. I have like an angle here. About halfway through. Try and make this look proportionally right. And I have Sammy be looking down. Just use this as our rough. I feel like the eyebrows do so much like heavy lifting when you're trying to get an expression right. Bring up the cheeks a little bit higher. And it feels so unnatural to draw this character, and it hasn't even been that long. I used to be good though, guys. I used to every like day I would warm up. I would try to draw these characters. Especially when I was like really working on it. It was really important that I kind of kept my, I guess like the memories fresh, the muscle memory for drawing these characters. think I probably didn't draw the head big enough, actually. But we're almost copying this other pose, so it's not too bad. Not too hard. Do, 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 do. I don't really like how I drew this leg originally, actually. Maybe it's because I don't have the glasses on the character. Just have them like tilted down. Let's flip it around. Oh, there we go. That's why the shape's a little bit off. Do, 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 do. This feels better. I think I may have made the eyes too big. I need to make sure I'm paying enough attention to my character sheet. Because that's going to be my main guideline. Ooh, that's not right. Is that how I normally draw the nose? That's reference. Oh, no wonder. I do more of an oval shape. Oh, okay, that actually changes a lot. I'm not so with it today, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get much sleep last night, which isn't helping. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be a little bit more with it. We're just gonna keep going. Oh dear. This is really crooked. There we go. This is why I keep flipping my drawings, guys, because if you don't, things just start to look really funny. Okay, that's better. That's better. Alrighty. I think the head needs bigger. It does. It needs so much bigger, guys. Because Sammy is 2 heads tall. That's how the measurement works. Oh my gosh, that explains so much. It was at this moment I knew I messed up. Okay, that feels much better. I was like, these proportions were not... These are not right. And I also want to cut in here a little bit. Yeah, I made Sammy just a little too wide. This character's like cute and rounded, but not too big. Alright, in terms of glasses, here's how I usually do them. I usually start with the base. Start with something like that. Alright, I feel like it's a good start. I think we can go into the clean line work now. Let me get rid of the sketch underneath this one. Alrighty. Let me just make sure. What brush size do you think we were using? Ooh, that's a tough call. It kind of looks like that size. This is brush size 25. All right, let's do the body first. I'm starting to get sleepy because of the music. Might want to put on something different. Okay, hold up. Let me see a little bit of the... Keep the hands really simple. Then we got the claws. Okay, this hand. I think we're going to change the angle just a little bit. Oh, this song's more upbeat. I gotta stay awake. I don't know how those people do, you know, people do like 24-hour stream. They don't sleep. I don't understand how those people do it. Like, I would need so many cups of coffee. I think it'd be easier, like, if you were streaming with somebody, too. And I guess if you played, like, a lot of people play video games, I think that would be a little bit easier. But I'm like, I also can't work for 24 hours straight. Although that might be an interesting challenge. I could do like a live like oil painting. Although it would be difficult because I don't have like lights where I can work at night for painting. So I couldn't, I'd have to get some lights, some like studio lights. Like a 24-hour. I could do like a oh, I could do like a portrait challenge. Like I have to do so many portraits in 24 hours. Most people do that where they do like they'll stream and it's like a charity thing. So that'd be kind of fun to do. Maybe someday. I couldn't do that either. Rest and sleep is important. Yeah. I would be a zombie at the end. Like absolutely. I'd probably have to sleep for like 2 whole days afterwards. When I was younger, I was like a night owl though. But looking back, I don't think I was actually thriving that much. I think now I realize like the importance of sleep more. And so I prioritize it, but there was a time where like I probably wasn't getting more than 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And I would stay up till like 5 a.m. But I'm like, no, not anymore. Those days are gone. Ain't no way I'm doing that one again. Or sometimes we would do, although I don't think I would ever stick the whole way through, but we would do like all-nighters with our like gaming friends. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Can't do it anymore. Oh wait, you know what I also do, guys? With Sammy, I don't draw the chin all the way connected. That's how to realize I'm doing wrong too. There we go. All right, let's do the glasses on a separate layer. Maybe I should have put the nose in first. I'm very excited though that time change is coming soon. And also, I mean, just even without the time change, like the days are getting longer and it is amazing. Like it's not dark by 4:30. Like it just makes life seem so much, I don't know. It just makes like every day feel a little bit longer. I'm not like an outdoorsy person, but some reason just having like the sun up really does affect me. It's like I'm not even out in it, but some reason just knowing it's up, like I just feel more productive. I know I see a lot of memes about like artists who get like crazy inspiration at around like 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm just not one of those people. I'm like, y'all should be sleeping. But I'm actually glad I'm not one of those people because that would be really difficult. And granted, like I know that like, you know, when you're like self-employed, it doesn't really matter like when you're awake and when you're asleep or when you're working, like as long as you're getting the work done. But the hard part is like everyone else in the world is on a normal schedule. So, you know, you end up missing out on a lot when you're asleep while everyone's awake. So it can get a little bit lonely. That's kind of why I'm like, no, I want to have a relatively normal sleep schedule. Just so, you know, I don't miss out on anything. Okay. We're going to flip this around at some point. Let me put the nose in. That's cute. All right, eyes. I don't want any tangents here with the glasses. All right, eyebrows. Know what this song reminds me of, guys? There was a show we used to watch when we were kids, and I think it was called DuckTales? But it was like a town where, like, one town was all ducks, and one town, if I remember right, was all alligators. And then the two, like, one alligator and the duck end up becoming friends. It was like, I want to say it was 3D. It wasn't like a 2D animation. But like the intro theme had, is it saxophone? I don't know what instrument, but it's whatever one I was hearing in this song. Like whatever one that was playing there. Like that's, it's like its intro was, I think it was DuckTales. Hold up, guys. Let me Google this. I could be wrong. Or maybe it was Duck. There's something, there was Duck in the title. No, it could have been DuckTales because that was the Disney Duck. What's it called? Let me just, Duck and Alligator. Sitting Ducks. It was called Sitting Ducks. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, I knew Duck was in it somewhere. Yeah, it was animated. It was really cute. Here, guys, let me show you a picture. This is the show. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Maybe this is where like my love for ducks kind of started and I didn't even realize it. Yeah, we really like this show. We even had, I want to say there was a video game for it. Was it for like PC? No, was it PlayStation? I think it may have been PlayStation. Actually, I think it was PC as well. I can't remember what we played it on. But man, that's a throwback. Okay. Dang. But yeah, sitting ducks. It was cute. Do do do. All right, let's put in the eyes. Ba 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 da. Do 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 do. All right, this pose is much better. It's kind of telling more of the story. All right, thinking about it made Sammy's tummy feel funny. All right, very good. All right, we have two more things to fix. Hold up, let me pull this up. I'm just seeing one section here on the head where the line work's a little messy. There we go. It's the little things, you know? Actually, before I say this is finished, we gotta flip it. I don't know what I grabbed that is making it. Somewhere along the line. Okay, it's in here. Okay, there we go. Now we're good. I think the head needs to come forward a little. Oh, we forgot a layer. Hold up, guys. All right, let's flip it again. I'm just gonna adjust this upwards a little. Then place it back down. All right, I think that's good enough. All right, let's go and make that final edit. Where is my little notes here? Okay. Page 6, make Sammy look worried. Check. Let me save this. And oh, that's okay. We were gonna rearrange this. Oh, okay. So take couch from page 21, put on page 5 in place of card playing. Make 21 and 22 into one page. Shoot. Hold up. Let me grab that. Those in here. Oh, wait, that is the page we opened. Okay, so we need 21. Let me open that file, see what we're looking at. Take couch from page 21. Okay, that's 20. Wait, this is page... this one. Put on page 5 in place of playing... of card playing. Eh? Not me reading my own notes and not understanding. Okay, hold up. Let's read the text. Why won't Sammy go to sleepover parties with me? I think pillow fights, blanket forts, and games with friends are so much fun. Thought Figgy. Sammy only wants to color and read, and I get bored doing that all day. Ah, naruhodo. I see. Okay. Here we like reference Figgy talking about how Sammy only wants to color and read, and so we have them reading in that couch illustration. And we're going to put it onto this page instead of them playing the card game here. Which I actually like because I wasn't in love with these illustrations anyway. Okay, let me grab all the layers from here. Page left. We're gonna need Sammy reading. This one and this one. Let's up the opacity on this. I'm gonna copy those into here. And then I'm gonna need the couch. So many layers. Oh my goodness. Am I going crazy? Background layers. Here we go. Page left. And I'm gonna drag this into here. Let's just realign this. Okay, cool. These layers can go in front. And we need to move them up a little bit. Do we put the text? I could put the text above the illustration. I don't know if I want to do that. Indecisive. Oh, my tea's getting cold. Hold on, let me get a drink. All right, I think we're tracking here. Let me save this. So what's going to happen to this page? What did I write? Put on page 5 and place blank cards. Make 21 and 22 into one page. Ah. Okay, so this is going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky because I'd have to respace everything. Which is not the end of the world. So it would make the last page end on a single image. I don't really want to do that. Let me think about this. Because I don't want to have any blank pages. Okay. Let's see how much of the text we could fit. Alright, so we keep that illustration. Unless we can fit in a new one. Or I make this illustration of... Let me check out the order we have here. This is page... This comes after this page. Well, we got rid of them playing... Oh no, they'll be playing games here. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about how I want to solve this issue. For now, though, the elements are moved, which is good. What is the background layer on this one? Okay, we need this and this. So my notes were saying to put it on this page. I don't like reading and coloring all day. All right, I got an idea. I have got an idea. What if we use this extra bit of space we have? So this text here can go on the end. Let's add a new text bubble. Have I got an idea, guys? This actually may not be terrible. Let me move the text up here. Here's what I'm thinking. First, we copy this text into here. I put that on that many layers. All right, I did a pretty messy job. One second. I'm cooking. A second. And then we copy this in as well. So all the text is on this side. Because we got plenty of space. Ba-da-ba-ba. And maybe we can put all this direction. Or do I center it? I can center it for now. And then we take the illustration up here from page left. This. I move it a little bit here. And then we take this. This is page. So I'm gonna put them skating. Watch. On this page. And maybe we add, because here Figgy's like, I don't want to be, you know, reading and coloring all day when we could be playing fun games with other friends. Maybe I'll add in the bunny character so we get a little bit more friends going on. And then we're going to extend. Where is this thought bubble? All right, I need to organize these pages at some point, but today is not that day. Okay, here we go. Then this little idea bubble is going to find its way into this page. So maybe we'll have to take the eyes and turn them a little bit this way more. But how about we had the bubble build up into here. And then this illustration has a bigger part to play than it used to. And it fills the space, and I kind of like the way that, you know, one illustration on the left kind of becomes into the right side of the page. I haven't done anything like that yet, so I kind of like that idea. I'll have to work on the composition a little. Maybe if we had the thought bubble be more. Put more like that. And it could expand, maybe bigger? Yeah, what if we did something a little bit bigger? Because we have to add in the bunny character. And then we could do little cloud dots out here. Somewhere we'll fit the bunny in, okay? I think we're good, though. This is a good idea. And it keeps me from having to worry about it ending on a page that's not finished. Like, I didn't want to have one single empty page in the end. The text over here is kind of bothering me. Where's that text file? Here it is. Here we go. I got an idea. Why don't I just shrink it down? Not that much. And then something more like this. Okay, that's cute. Alright, so that would go. Where does that go? It's originally not this page. This page. I like that. Alright, I think that's all the changes I have to make. Make 21 and 22, and so I'm not gonna do that. I ended up making it into 2 pages. Yeah, this is cute. I'm gonna have to re-export them, but I'm not gonna do that on stream because that would be really, really boring. Next thing we're gonna work on my list is the vegetable garden collection we are working on. So we got these done. I really just want to work on Cookie Monster, if I'm being honest. But I have to restrain myself because I got other projects that need to be done. Where is that file? All right, here we go. Oh, I like these. I forgot how much I liked how these were turning out. All right, let me open. I had a file that shows me which brushes I was using because I've already forgotten. I need to back up my files this weekend. It's been a while since I did that. All right, we were using the Interblock brush, apparently. What was I shading it with? The oil thinner brush. Okay, cool. So these are technically the rough sketches, but I actually like how they feel. So normally what I do, because if I want to make pattern prints with these, I have to convert them to smart objects so that when I'm shrinking them and scaling them, they don't get pixelated. And I can edit them without what's the word I'm looking for, like damaging the quality of it. I'll show you guys how it works in a bit. All right, so did we draw? We got onions, we got peppers, we got tomatoes. We need to do, I wanted pumpkins. And I wanted, what else? Carrots. The fill there. Okay, let's do carrots. Yeah, why does it feel like... I feel like all the illustrations I did... These were supposed to be the orange-themed vegetables. Oops. It's okay, we can make them orange in post, but the shape's there. The shape is there. The question is, do I create new pepper illustrations? Because we have peppers in the yellow colored ones, the green colored ones, and the orange colored ones. The only ones I didn't have peppers in the red, but I mean there's red peppers, so we could do that. Do I do a new pepper illustration for each one? Or do we use the same pepper illustration but color it differently? That way it stays cohesive looking. I'm kind of leaning to not doing that just because it kind of feels like I was being lazy and I don't want to be lazy. And I also like the idea of every like illustration being unique and keeping it like, I mean the whole theme is supposed to be like really organic and loose. So if I copy peppers, I think people are going to catch on. And I don't want it to feel like copy paste. All right. I made the decision. I'm going to do it. I'm going to draw every single one, even in the different color shades. All right, we were pulling up references before. Carrot. Ba-dum-bum-bum. All right, well, let's see. I want to draw them with the tops on. I think I make it cuter. We could honestly do carrots and all the color themes too, because there's orange ones, there's red ones, there's purple ones, there's like whitish tan ones. So lots of options. I think I'll start with the tops. Okay, something like that. Do 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 do. I probably shouldn't actually make this into 2 layers because I need to keep these really loose. All right, let's do a variety of carrot shapes. So they usually looks like they get a greenish. I'm telling you guys, you know what hits different? If you can grow, or I guess you could buy them like from a farm, right, where they grow them. But we've grown our own carrots and they're like 10 times sweeter. And you can smell them too. Like as soon as you pull it out of the ground, like just smelling them, like you can just smell how like sweet they are and they taste different. They're so, so good. So I'm hoping my mom grows carrots again because the ones she grew last year were absolutely amazing. So I guess we can make long, skinny ones. And then they have like these lines. I guess I should have made the top taller. Let's pull it down here. Whoops. I like the green part. There's a weed that grows that looks very similar to the top of a carrot. And I used to pull weeds for like our neighbors to make some money. And anytime I would pull one of those, I'd be like, maybe it's a wild carrot. And I'd just be like hoping I'd find like a carrot on the end. But that never happened. It's a little disappointing. Okay, that looks cute. Carrot 1. Let's do a shorter, thicker one this time. Maybe make one of the sprigs come out. And we get the stem here. This one's gonna look a little bit more like a turnip. Or sometimes they'll like split into 2 pieces. That's probably a little short. I don't want it to look too funny or nobody's gonna recognize it. This one looks like a tooth. But like the root on the one is really, really long. And the Atmos one we should use actually gets lighter. It was like this. And then there's like little root pieces that actually come out. Oops, wrong layer. Gotta get back to this one. I think we were not generous enough on the sprigs on that other one. It looked a little bit sad. Let's add some more greens to the top. And maybe a couple more into the outside like that. Do, 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 do. That's a little bit better. Let's stick it there. All right, let's do one more. I think I was doing these in threes. Carrot 2, 3, and then we'll do pumpkins. Or I guess you could call them gourds. They could be gourds too. Let's look for one here. Let's do a rounder one. Like that. The top on it. This is the song that makes me sleepy. Watch, the name of the song is probably... Oh, this one's called Bonus Track. I was thinking it was gonna be called Sleepy Time. Alright, let's play his other album, the very first one. I think I can turn this up a little bit. Put it on loop. Da 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 da. I think I should have made this one longer. Oops, I drew it on the wrong layer. Shoot. There we go. Get rid of this layer. Carrot 2. I think I'm gonna make this carrot longer. This one's just gonna look like a generic carrot. I'm gonna pick a generic one from the references. Alright. 3 carrots. Let's make the tops a little bushier. Okay, cool. Oh, you know what's also wrong? I'm not using the right brush. My bad. Well, it's okay. These are just the rough sketches anyway. Some of the line work will be thicker on the other ones. Just have to use our imagination. Also, you know what's wrong here? We're seeing like, we need to see the top more here. So we're looking at the same angle. I don't want the angles to change. Alright, carrot's done. Let's save that. Now we need to do pumpkins. Yes, we've got some lovely generic pumpkins that came up here. Just what we wanted. Just a little bit more orange. This time we had the right brush. I think. No. This is the one I'm supposed to be using. Oops. Okay, it's okay. We already used the wrong brush twice. Alrighty, let's do... loosely. Get this drawn out. Okay, that's kind of cute. I think we need to balance out this side a little bit more though. I think my goal next year is going to be to try and enjoy the fall more. I think I have trouble enjoying the fall because I know that it's followed by winter, and I really, really don't like winter. But it's like fall is really pretty because all the trees change color, and then there's all the like the fun like fall, you know, pumpkin and cinnamon and just everything fall themed. Like I just need to enjoy it, embrace it, not get caught up on the fact that it's about to get really cold and not that long of time. I guess I'm probably not gonna see that much of the stem. Kind of goes a bit like that. All right, that's a good first generic pumpkin. Let's do a not so generic one. Pumpkin 1. Pumpkin 2. Oh, here's some. They're like taller looking. Why not? They're a bit more oval shaped. You know those people that do like pumpkin carving and it's like insane, where like they're actually like professional carvers? Is that the right word for it? But you guys probably have seen it too. And they just do like insane, like they're either the like carved portraits or like I've seen a lot of Lord of the Rings ones which are insane. And I'm just like, every time I think about, I'm like, oh, it'd be fun to carve a pumpkin. I have to like restrain myself from like going insane. So I think it was like 2 falls ago. My aunt got some pumpkins because she was visiting and she wanted to carve some. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to carve any. And she was like, come on, let's do it. So we all started doing it. And I was like, the reason I didn't want to is because like I thought that I needed to just go crazy. I'm like, no, I don't need to. And so what I did is I forced myself to just make a very generic smiley face. In fact, even more simple than a normal standard like pumpkin carving. I was like, Emma, you're not gonna go crazy. You're just gonna carve it like a normal person. Like sometimes I think maybe like if you start to pursue the arts, you all might feel, you probably know what I'm talking about, where you feel like you need to do something above average, maybe to like prove it to yourself. I don't know what it is. To me, it's usually like I get like inspired by a lot of people, and so I'm like, oh, I want to do it too. But it's like, you know what? Maybe I'll never be a great pumpkin carver. And that's okay, because someone out there is doing it and they love it and they're great at it. And I can appreciate their pumpkin carving without having to do it myself. So I'm learning to accept that I can't learn everything. Which is like pretty obvious. Like, yeah, you can't do everything, but believe it or not, I have had these thoughts. This is why I pick up too many hobbies. And then I end up doing like none of them, which is also not fantastic. All right, we got a tall pumpkin. Pumpkin 2. Let's do one more. Let's do a... What other kind of pumpkin shapes do we got? Like a lopsided one. That might be cute. Wait, look at this recipe. Thanksgiving stuffed roast pumpkins. Oh my goodness. That looks delicious. You like roast the whole thing in a pumpkin. My like recent love for pumpkin is cooking it like savory. You know what I mean? Like I feel like growing up, I only ever thought of it as like in pumpkin pie, in like pumpkin ice cream, like, you know, like sweet things. But it's really good if you chop them into cubes and you salt them and you put rosemary with it and maybe like roast some onions with it as well. Roast in the oven. So good. Okay, Emma, pick a pumpkin. Let's do a lopsided one. Maybe something like... Because they don't grow perfect, you know? It's fun because sometimes our neighbor will grow, so they rotate crops, but sometimes our neighbor will grow like pumpkins and gourds for their I guess, would you call it like a fruit stand? Yeah, but they sell like different vegetables and stuff. Farmer, like a market stand. I don't know why I'm at a lack of words for it, but you guys know what I mean. They sell like their produce there, and so they do. They also sell like for decoration. They sell like the dried corn stalks for people to buy. But they'll grow like a field of like the pumpkins, and so it's really fun when it's like the field that are near our house, so we can see them, and it's just like a whole field full of pumpkins and gourds. It's really colorful and pretty. I always like that. That one does look a little bit funny. I did want it lopsided. I shouldn't be complaining about what I got. I think it's probably gonna smooth out more at the bottom. Some of them have deeper ridges and then some of them don't, is what I'm noticing. Maybe we do this one with less ridges. Why not? Kind of looks a little sad. A little boring. Okay. What did I have before? Hold up. We're gonna leave this, I think. And then we'll have some lines back here. Alrighty, pumpkin 3. Let's rotate it. It's not terrible. I kind of like it lopsided. It gives it character. Alright, so let me check my list. We got carrots, peppers, pumpkins, onions, and tomato were all on my list. So we got those. So these are all gonna be for... Pepper. Alright, let me save these all into one folder. This is going to be all the orange. Even though I know some of them are yellow, I have to change that. All the orange colored fruits and vegetables, because tomatoes are a fruit. We're just gonna pretend they're a vegetable. Alright, now we're gonna do the red. I'm working from top to bottom in my little spreadsheet here. Alright guys, I'm gonna be right back. And then we're gonna work more on this. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry that took me so long. I had to get a snack because I was starving. And guys, look what my brother got me. Dum dum dum. He was at a thrift store and he found this. It's a little I haven't actually watched more than a couple episodes on Naruto, but I'm like, heck, I'll take it. I'm like, I love it. So I gotta wash it so I can wear it on stream. Okay. What was I doing? I was drawing tomatoes. That's what we're gonna be doing. Let's do maybe cooler reds. Oh, I like that. What am I looking for? Guys, I want another monitor. I realize I have 3, but the thing with monitors is the only time you have too many is when you'd have to physically like turn in your chair to look at the other one. I think I could probably be like, if I had 8 monitors, I'd probably still want another one. Let's see. We need to choose. Oh, maybe we do different varieties of tomatoes. Because some are wider, some are longer, and then some are also like, they're shaped almost like a pumpkin, where they have a bunch of these little like ridges. Kind of like this. I don't know what type it's called. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh, guys. Sometimes I'm so forgetful. I had a catalog that we were using. Alrighty. Let's take a look-see at the tomato. Keep it from falling. Let's look at these tomato varieties. Alrighty. That's a radish. That's a pepper. Lettuce. Cucumbers. Lettuce be friends. Flowers. I have a lot of flowers. It's really pretty. Yeah, when my younger sister got married, my mom wanted to grow all the flowers because it's like a really good way to save money. But talk about stress, because she was trying to calculate, like, if I plant them now, they need to be ready by this certain month. And so she bought, it was so pretty, like a ton of flower seeds, and we had so many flowers. Yeah, she bought a lot of like kind of like wildflower vibes as well. So the bouquets we had were really pretty. It was like, some are more like your standard flowers, and then a lot of like the wildflower stuff as well. It was just so pretty. Okay. I'm looking for... They only have 2 pages of tomatoes? Oh, never mind. I was flipping the wrong way. We're good. They got more than 2 pages. Okay, so... They're not really saying what type. These are cherry tomatoes. We're gonna do some cherry tomatoes. I thought about doing watermelon, but I don't think we're gonna do that. I think tomato is as far as we're gonna slide into the fruit category. Yeah, this is kind of the one. Look, it shows it comes in 3 different colors. This one here is the one I'm kind of thinking of. We could do one. All right. I'm just gonna go through and scratch out our address so I don't. Actually, that's way too much work. I'm just gonna rip it out. I said there's carrots on the back. My mom doesn't need this. Okay. Apparently they're out of Maine. Did not know that. Alright, so let's do this tomato. Yo, one of these tomatoes is called Harvest Moon, which reminds me of a really good game. I think the first Harvest Moons we played on like DS, but the one that I remember the most is probably the one that was on the Wii. That one was really good. We're seeing a little bit more chop down for this tomato. And the stems here. Try and get this accurate without it looking weird. They are slightly unusual tomatoes. I would have absolutely no idea which tomatoes to order, or any plant, honestly. I just know like when my grandparents had a greenhouse, like the different tomatoes they would sell. And so I would probably just end up buying those ones because I'm familiar with the name. Like, yes, I absolutely wanna... What's the tomato name? A Harvest Moon tomato. Actually, I don't think they ever sold Harvest Moon. I could be wrong. Maybe they did? So what am I doing? Where... Friends, the reference is like all the little petal things are like curved upwards and it kind of looks weird. So I don't know if I'm gonna follow 100% on that one. We're gonna go with something like that. I made the stem longer too. Tomato 1. We are 4:30. Honestly, we're doing good on time. I made that adjustments to the children's book faster than I thought I was going to. Let's do one of the longer tomatoes next. They're almost shaped a little like a turnip. Where did I see that picture? It wasn't in there. Here we go. So it's not like a cherry tomato, like it's actually bigger. A Carolina? But they spelled it weird. It's C-A-U-R-A. And then Lina. Like, why did they do this to me? Life's hard enough as a dyslexic. Do you ever see those memes where they kind of like make fun of like name spellings with like pronunciation? And they're like, what if we named like we pronounced like what if we spelled like Steven this way? And they just like they go like so much extra. Or I love when they do like if we spelled things the way we pronounced it. Those crack me up. I'm like, I wish we did things that way. It'd be so much easier for me. Yeah, names always invoke a little bit of anxiety like in me when someone's like, oh, my name's this. And then you go to spell it and you're like, there are numerous ways this could be done. But you don't want to like offend the person. on the best thing you could hope for is that you've seen someone else spell it, or someone message you and they're like, hey, you know, did you talk to Carolina? And then you're like, you gotta lock it in. You're like, this is how Carolina spells her name. Yeah. Because I do, like, I'll forget names, but if the spelling's weird, the fear that I'm gonna do it wrong helps me memorize. So sometimes a little bit of fear is a good thing. Da, 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 da. I struggle with like the name like Stefan, because are you supposed to say Stefan? Are you supposed to say Stefan? Or are you supposed to say like, is it Steven? Can you get a V sound out of that? Like the PH? I don't know. That name scares me. Like I can't. Like I can't spell it and I can't pronounce it. I'm just gonna turn that one a little bit. I'm not sure I'm in love with this tomato, even though this is accurate to the picture. Almost looks like a strawberry. Where did I go wrong? We're gonna leave it. If we end up hating it, we can just not use it. There's tomato 2. I like how that one turned out. That one's a keeper. This one, let's see how they look together. Come on, tomato. Be good to me. Actually, not terrible together. You know what? I'm gonna let these pass. Tomato 3. Alright, chat. Next, we're gonna attempt cherry tomatoes. And I want to do, like, whether you're on the little string like this. I kind of like it. Whether, not the string, the stem. That's the word for it, Emma. Whether on the stem still. I think it might help it, like, more interesting. Otherwise, we're just gonna end up with a tiny, like, bunch of baby tomato drawings. Like if we did a bunch of these, it might be kind of boring. Or maybe not. Yeah, they're gonna make it more interesting if we keep them connected. So we need to decide on like stem shapes. Maybe we'll do one like that. And then they're kind of like staggered. There's one here, one there, one here, one there, here, one here. How's the end work? Looks like there's usually one about there. Actually, I probably could have packed these in tighter. Maybe I'll draw the tomatoes first. I don't know about that one, actually, guys. Because it's actually a bit more like... It's packed in a bit more at the bottom. Perhaps that's what we're gonna do. Should we do it more top-down? I'm checking this reference we got here. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna draw straight from the one I'm seeing in this picture. We're gonna draw the tomatoes in and then we'll work around, we're gonna make the stems work around the tomatoes. I like that idea better. Okay, perfect. So stem. Let's have it cut there. It's relatively straight. Then we get little side branches here. Some we're seeing the top section, others we're seeing bottom. I like that. That's not bad. Now let's put the little stem parts in because they have little leaflets here. Yep. I like it. Maybe we'll have this one connect in the top there. We're looking down on it. Alright, that's a good start for one. Alright. Cherry tomato. One. We're getting the tomatoes out of the way. These are the tomatoes I was talking about. I don't know why I couldn't find this page before. But see how much longer they are? They almost look like peppers. But they are tomato. I think we might want to do some cherry tomatoes that are longer. Because some of them are rounder, but some are also like more oval shape. Let me choose a reference of one I like. Maybe this one here. I'm gonna draw the stem first. So this one, the stem kind of comes like this, then we get a second branch. Yeah, I'll shape it a little bit more like that. We can stack them too. So this one on top of this one. I feel like there might be another one that would be here. And maybe I'll change the angle. But they got, I wanted them tighter, but not that tight. So that, so maybe here. Actually, that's starting way too far up the stem. I don't think they usually start growing that close. Or at least it doesn't appear that way in my reference. All right, let's do one here. And then we're gonna put one here. Actually, maybe we'll see the top part of this one. They look a little like grapes. I don't know why they don't call them grape tomatoes rather than, actually that may be a thing. But I've always heard them called cherry tomatoes. In my opinion, they grow more like grapes because they grow in like clusters. And even like, well, these ones are longer. I guess some of the other ones could look a bit like a cherry. That's kind of how I feel when, like, you know how flowers will be like, oh, this is a blue flower, and then it's clearly purple. I'm like, that is not a blue flower. Like, it is much closer to purple. It's very rare to find a truly blue color, like naturally in nature. Or at least where I live anyway. But I know there's like parrots and like poison dart frogs. They're naturally really like vibrant colors. So I always think those are really interesting. All right, one more cherry tomato. Let's just do round ones. Yeah. Cherry tomato 2. Cherry baby. Okay. Should I draw? I'm having good luck with using these as a reference. That's what I'm gonna just keep going with. You know what they say, if it ain't broke. Round cherry. Maybe these are a bit more like top down. We kind of get the tops of the stems like this. And maybe this one's a little bit at an angle. Right, okay. Then you make these a little more round. This one's gonna be underneath that one. This one, I'm gonna angle actually a bit more this way. All right, we finished our cherry tomatoes. I used to hate cherry tomatoes when I was a kid. But I've grown to like them. In fact, I didn't really like aside from when it was cooked in sauce, I used to be really picky. I don't know what was wrong with me. I used to not like any raw tomato. Now I love like tomato sliced on like a sandwich or in like fresh salads, or how else do I like them? Like with a hamburger. Absolutely delicious. Yeah, or a salad. I'll eat the cherry tomatoes. Yeah, I used to not though. I was absolutely opposed to tomatoes unless they were cooked in like ketchup or tomato sauce. Which I feel like the ketchup part was definitely like, I absolutely loved ketchup when I was a kid. It's very American of me. It's so hard getting this to show on camera. The next one we're doing, guys, is rhubarb. I feel like people either like hate or love rhubarb. I used to hate it, but I have found it's not like I absolutely love it, but I would say I have a growing appreciation for it if it's cooked right. I always remember my one uncle apparently didn't know that you can't eat rhubarb raw because it's poisonous. You have to cook it first. And we're like, well, why would you eat it raw? And he's like, I don't know, like maybe I'll just be some like a kid and just, you know, want to just take a bite of it. And I was like, you know, that's fair. And he also is like the kind of person when he was a kid, he probably would have just taken a bite out of a random leaf. So it's actually amazing that he made it to adulthood. So guys, don't eat rhubarb raw. In case you don't know, it is, I'm not sure how poisonous it is, but it is poisonous as far as I know. Like, how fast will it off you? I don't know. Or how much you have to eat? I'm not sure. Also found out that bamboo needs to be, like, you know how you can eat the baby bamboo shoots? Those have to be cooked as well. Like, living and learning. It always makes you think, like, who had to find out it was poisonous? It's kind of sad. Like, at some point, somebody found out. It's, like, really... It's kind of dark when you think about it. Alright, so the leaves are kind of, like... very... squiggly. I'm not sure how committed I am to the rhubarb, though. I did like all the green that it has mixed with the red and the stem. But now that I'm drawing it out, I'm not sure I'm absolutely in love with it. How do I spell that? See, like, there's an H in rhubarb, but it doesn't make any pronunciation sound. I'm like, why is it there? And there's probably a reason, because whoever, either it was Old English or we borrowed it from another language, and it's probably used to be pronounced, but we don't. but we still spell it that way. Like, it drives me crazy. Let's do this one at kind of like an angle, I think. So I probably wouldn't see this whole section here. I don't know if you can eat. Can you cook anything with the leaves of rhubarb? I don't know. Usually we just throw them away, you know? You just eat like the stem part. I don't know. That doesn't look. It's getting dark, so I'm having trouble seeing. Even with my new light. I should have wrapped more Christmas lights around it. I think I have the point of this stem go up too far. It thins, it tapers down actually pretty quick. Yeah, guys, we may end up scrapping the rhubarb. Just because I'm not in love with it. I mean, there's Swiss chard, which looks similar. Pretty much the same shape, though. Oops. Maybe I should draw the leafy part first. Sometimes it's just the process that needs change. It looks like a tree. I think with these, I definitely would use color fills. I might brighten the reds more. Because it's almost more like this shade. I do like this streaking texture here, though. Like this looks... Oh, actually, we just saved the rhubarb, guys. I think I will keep it now, because if we can texture like that, it's not gonna look like trash. Alright, next, radish. Let's see if we can find that. It's on the front and the back. Radish. They're flowers. Oh, hold up. This looks promising. That's garlic. Kohlrabi. Never mind. Where was I seeing? Oh wait, it'll tell me. Radishes are gonna be on page... I bet it's with the carrots. Oh, it's the very first pages. Oh, and red beets. These are probably... If people think they're red beets, that's fine. Or if people think they're turnips, that's also fine. It's kind of like a win-win. Let me name this layer Barb 3. I think I want to go there and just add this texture. What do you think? The stem needs to taper a little bit faster here. I think this collection is going to be fun, especially once we start doing the pattern prints for it. I think it's going to be cute. And ideally, I'll have these done by summer, so it'll be the perfect time of year to well, it'll be like late spring into summer. So it'll be the perfect time to drop a collection like this. Alright, then what was I using to shade, guys? I think it was this brush. So these were kind of... I know I shouldn't get into shading, but I just want to play around with this a little. Maybe I can create the different like variations in the leaf by doing... Oh, I like this. Something like that. And then we grab a warmer shade, do this inner part. On some of them, they were almost like purpley, like color tints at the edge of the leaf that I thought was really pretty. Just get like a tinge of that color in there. I think these are gonna work. Rhubarb. Fill test. Alright, we got regular tomatoes done. We've got cherry tomatoes. We've got rhubarb. Now we're gonna do some beets. I'm not talking about music beats. Look at all the variations up here in the top. We could do like one of these in our... Well, I already finished that, but we could still do it. Maybe we'll go more towards there's a very light one here that might make it into the yellow collection. Alright, we definitely need a cooler. It's like borderline purple. But I'm not opposed. So some of them are longer, some of them are rounder. I kind of like the rounder ones. I feel like they're cuter. And then the stems are kind of like red too, but they get a little more pink. And then usually you see a little color variation at the top. And I think it's because that part will stick out of the ground a little bit. And the sun and just like the elements kind of reach it more. Alright, so let's go the a little bit more pink. Let's put the stems in. Probably too wide. Okay, then we get these cool green leaves. That almost look... They're very leafy. This is not super... Hold up, guys. For some reason I'm not liking... Does it taper more? I think it tapers a little bit more before it goes into the bottom of the roots. You get a lot of these little baby roots that hang off. If I'm seeing this properly. Oh, and then it like you get like this rough texture up right here where before it transitions into the... Man, I feel like an old lady. I gotta get my glasses or something. Okay. Let me just fix these leaves because I feel like they need more definition. I mean, we do want to keep it loose, but we do need it to be recognizable. I think I like that. We're gonna call it the red beet instead of a turnip. Because a turnip would be... I don't know if there's turnips on this page. I think these are... I think the turnips are on the other side. They didn't even get their own page? That's a crime. Turnips are hit or miss. So, like, they can taste amazing. But if you get the ones that are, like, bitter, not great. Hold up. I think there might be another page for the turnips. Let me just double check. Those are parsnips. Melons, lettuce. Carrots got a lot of pages. Clearly people love carrots more than they love turnips. I feel like if we did a turnip, what we're gonna have to do... I might do... I mean, I could still make this into a turnip, but I think I'm gonna go with red beet just because I'm more familiar with them. But we'd have to, like... When we shaded it... Here's what we'd have to do. We have to put, like... Turnips are, like... They get this little, like... lighter color down here. And then it comes up into the rest of the color. But we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna go red beet. Stick with the beets I know. Let's do a longer one though. And the tops. Like this. Maybe I'll draw the greenery first. Let's grab this bright pink color. Make this a shorter one. The tough part when you do these with the tops is they're gonna be... It's gonna be interesting when we start trying to fit these into patterns and different stuff like that. So I may be regretting this later. I may be regretting this a lot later. We're gonna find out later. We're gonna make it work because I want the tops in. I like the color variation we got going on. I do like it with thicker line work. I think I might try to incorporate that more when I do the finished line work for it and stuff. Okay, so that's red beet 2. Alright, let's do one more. Do 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 do. I hit save too many times. Okay, let's do another round one. Do 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 do. I love this song. This one's so catchy. The Shore. No wonder I like it. I love going to the beach. Like anything warm, summer vibe, I'm here for it. Hopefully I didn't make this too big. I wish we had all these already growing in our garden right now, so I could just go out and look at them and take pictures myself. But I'm drawing this collection too soon. It's all right. All right, that's our third one. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna have to cut stream a little short early because I wanted to work just a little bit on the watercolor dog portrait I'm doing, and I don't have my setup where I can have my watercolors on stream at the moment. I'd have to set up a whole new I have to set up my laptop in order to do that. But before I leave, I want to show you guys. All right, this is saved. I want to show you guys the one I did already, because I said on my Instagram story I was going to talk about how I kind of tackled doing it, since I haven't done watercolors as well as like portrait type stuff in a while. So let me grab it. I'm going to show it to you guys. Not me knocking down my disco ball. Okay. Fortunately, it didn't break anything. It did land on my... Actually, it may have broken some of the glass on it. I think it's okay. It landed on my keyboard, but I think it didn't break anything. Okay, so... Let me turn off the music so I can fully focus. Alright, so guys, I have not done... I haven't painted dog, I was saying, in probably... I guess actually 5 years. 5 years, and it's been a long time. I haven't drawn them. I haven't really done anything where realism and proportions, having them correct, was super important. Like, I've just done a lot of gesture drawing, which is great because I've gotten really good at composing shots, and I've gotten good at getting like looser poses and stuff. But getting back into like trying to paint something with realism has been definitely very hard. But like, I didn't think it would take too long to get back into it because there was a large period of time where like that's all I did. And so definitely those skills came back. But you can see this portrait. This is my first try of doing this dog. This is Pepper. I'm doing this as a gift. And I absolutely love how it turned out, actually. Some of the proportions are only slightly off, but interesting thing, when I was doing it, I didn't actually sketch too much because I knew that this portrait of this dog, like, if you were to squint at the reference, because I was talking about like checking values the last week when we were painting the little candies, and if you were to squint at the reference of this dog, it's like almost absolutely no detail. There's like barely any like color, like value variation. So I had to add some in a little bit and exaggerate what I was seeing, because photos are often darker than how it would have looked to our own eyes. So what I did though is what I tried to focus on was blocking out like the main shapes of light. So like clearly the nose area was going to be one of my bigger like shapes. But when I was doing around the eye area, I was trying to think like, so this, the whole around the eye, and then in this ear, like, hold up, I can't do this properly. Let me hold this for you guys. Okay, so like this section and these like dark patches, those were kind of what I was focusing on as I was tackling this. And just slowly, I got into details at the very end. But in the very beginning, the one thing I focused on, rather than drawing out a perfect sketch of the eyes and the nose and the ear placement, I got a loose sketch in that was relatively correct. And what I did first is I blocked in all of the dark values and the lighter values. And then slowly, as you keep painting them in and you balance the values, if you get your major block sections of the painting in, you have almost a perfect position then where you're going to put in your eyes and the nose, because it's going to be in accordance with your big blocked out shapes. I'm not sure if this is making sense. If this is in Photoshop, I could draw over it and show what I meant. But yeah, so just trying to like rewire my brain, because when I used to do portraits, I would agonize over getting the, at some point they're way too big to bring down right now, but I have portraits I could show you guys that I did in watercolor, and I used to agonize over, well, it might be different if I was painting a person, but I feel like some of this will transfer over if I start doing portraits again. But I was saying, I agonized over getting the sketch absolutely perfect. And it doesn't necessarily have to be. And just trying to like train my brain to think in more of like breaking down the simple shapes, so dark and light sections. And then only at the very end, like you'll see, you can take your brush like slightly damp, and if you rub it on the paper, it will remove some of the color. So that's really how I finished it. So like here around the mouth, I just kind of went in with my brush, and you just scrub it a little. I have like a brush that's my junk brush, because you'll kind of ruin the bristles eventually. But that's where I did to just kind of like take out those highlight sections. My big issue with this one is the nose needs a little reworking, which I'm gonna do. But other than that, actually pretty happy with it. And so I'm doing a second one because this one's kind of small and it was my first try. And I feel like just giving her one portrait of her dog that's tiny is not enough. So I'm a bit of an overachiever, and I did a second one, which I started yesterday. And I actually converted. I have this like corkboard frame, and I don't actually, I know this probably goes against a lot of people, I don't like taping down my watercolor paints, just because like the paint is like, the tape is expensive and it's really annoying having to peel it off later. So everyone has their own workflow. So what I'm trying is these are actually football helmet. These are really old. They were my dad's when he was a kid. But they're like football helmet tacks. And so I just put those in, and you can move them super easily. And they just kind of like, they're big enough that they hold onto the board. and tag the paper in. But yeah, so this one's much bigger. Make sure you guys can see it all. But as you can see, like, this one's a bit more challenging. There's a lot more going on in the background. This one, I had a lot of creative freedom. And in the original picture, my mom was actually holding the dog. So I took her hands out and all that background stuff because I just wanted to keep it as a color fill. But this one, it seemed like they had taken this photo at a place that they really liked. And so for me, incorporating the background and keeping it there and recognizable was important. And so we're definitely working on balancing the values there on this one, guys. Right now, it looks like a, you know how you see those YouTube videos where it's like student makes art and then the artist does the same painting and it looks wildly different. Right now, we're in the student phase. But with watercolors, you have to be really slow and cautious because you can't really go lighter. And I used that, I mean, like, you can go lighter, right? Because I clearly just showed you that I went lighter on this one. But you have to be really careful because when you rough up the surface of the paper, it starts to lose integrity. And so next time you wash over the area that you roughed up and pulled pigment from, it's not going to paint it down the same. And I did notice with this paper, if you do that, it's almost like little, it's like when clothes, like, you know how like clothes will get pilled? That's what the, OBS is disconnecting. Are we still good, guys? I'm having so many technical issues today. Let me make sure stream's still updating. Well, it says my connection's excellent. All right, we're still good. But yeah, so I have to be careful about how dark I go. So I'm being really, really timid with this portrait. But I feel like I kind of got a little caught up in the details with this one, where with this one, I did it all in one sitting and I kept the surface pretty wet. So it has a nice, like, nice blend to it. And I think I just need to, when I approach this painting, this one again, I want to use very similar techniques that I used on the first one and try not to get myself pulling out, like, I'll pull out my small brushes and that's when I know that I'm getting too far into the details. So I'm going to force myself to keep using my bigger brushes so we can get similar effects to this one. Yeah, that's what I've been working on, guys. But I will be back tomorrow and we're going to do probably a paint study tomorrow. We'll have time for that. But guys, we're also going to work on Cookie Monster because you know that I want this as some type of wall art. But thank you everybody who joined. And I will be back tomorrow, same time, except I will probably stream till 6 instead of 5. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye, everyone.